We are live. Who we got on here? Just my studious trainee. How you doing, brother? I sent my son a video to watch, and it had a clickbait thumbnail that said "Nobody cares about men," and it had Sean Strickland on there. He had an interview. So my son sends me this tirade back about talking shit about me and how I think nobody cares about men. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, you didn't even watch the video, did you? you typed all of that, and you didn't even watch the damn video. What's up, Jay? I'm not going to be on too long today. I lost, obviously I haven't been training. I just started training again for rehabbing the bicep. And today I won't be on long, but I figured I might as well get it in real quick. I was just telling my buddy here how annoyed I am. I sent my son a video to watch, and it had a clickbait title. So he sends me back this text, like, totally, like, criticizing the premise of the video. He's insulted by it. And, but it was a clickbait title, and the clickbait title had nothing to do with the actual video. So I'm thinking to myself, like, why would you send somebody a criticism back about a video you didn't even watch? Oh, I love him, man. He's my son. Pretty much. You got a little bit of a pulled muscle in here. Oh, hey, you know what? Smart Gamer, since you're online, let's talk about squats real quick. So you're trying to learn how to do low bar squats, right? You know, when you watch the video, you have the barbell on your back, and I see you coming down to about right here, but you're pancaking forward. So now look at my knee in relation to my hips, right? See the angle here? And how I'm like, where my depth is? So if you sit back into it, and you straighten the body up, you'll notice that the angle is really this. So all you're doing is tilting forward. So your back flexion is about the same. So one of the things that you can do that I was trying to convey to you over text message, but I don't know if you were getting it, is if you can hold a weight out in front of you, the counterbalance forces you to sit back. Because if you're bent forward, it'll pull you over. So if you can hold something in front of you while you're squatting, it kind of forces you to be upright. What we're looking for is, we want to, if you look at this barbell, let's say this is the barbell, we want to look for this to be in a straight line going up and down. So you can see the barbell here at the bottom. That should be in a straight line. Nice consistent bar path. Now the difference between low bar squatting, you see where this bar is across my delts? It's right here on this little shelf I've made. So the bar's not even on my back. And with low bar squats, you get your toes forward and draw a straight line between the top of the head and that little tail that's in between your butt cheeks. That's your spine. That needs to be locked down. So the head, the neck should always be straight, no matter which way the body's turning. Now with a low bar squat, you're going to break with the hips. You stick your butt back first. And then it doesn't matter if your knees come over your toes, the bar needs to go down a straight line. So when you generate force with a low bar squat, you're generating force with the glutes and the hamstrings primarily. I'm going to fire up. Now my head and neck are in a straight line. And one of the cues I do is I squeeze the lats, I lock the back down. So I lock the back, I squeeze all these muscles, and I lock the bar in, pull down on the bar, and then my head, like I said, it's going to be a straight line. So when I get to the bottom, it looks like I'm looking down. But really all it is my neck and head aren't moving. Now with a high bar squat, all you're doing is you're coming up on the clavicle. You're still resting on the delts. It's only about 2 inches. But the big difference there is, instead of breaking with the hips, you're going to break with the knees. Same thing. Now the high bar squat, your torso, your neck, your head are going to be more upright. So if I'm breaking with the knees, I'm coming down. I don't have my squat shoes on, so it's a little more difficult. But basically I'm stacking my knees over my toes more. So the high bar squat is straight up and down. And with these you're pushing more with your quads than you are with your glutes. I want to be looking up because I want to be straight up and down. You see this a lot with Olympic lifters. Like when they're doing the snatch, they'll pull the snatch up and they'll get under it. See how far my knees are over my toes? Boom. Same thing with a front squat. Front squats, the thing that sucks with the using this pole as a demonstrator is it's kind of hard to do without weight. Front squats is the same thing as a back squat. I want to be straight up and down. And with that weight on your front, if you're not straight up and down, you'll dump forward, kind of like a zercher. Now, when I say that the knees need to track over the toes, so my toes are here, the knees are always going to be pointed in the same direction as my toes. So if I'm out here, and the wider I go, I want to draw a circle. So if I'm out 180 degrees, or rather 90 degrees, my toes want to be pointed that way. So I kind of want to track in like a circular motion. So you don't want to be wide like this with your feet standing forward. And the reason for that is, with your feet forward, your knees can't track. But they can if they're pointed out. So if your knees can't track, you can't use all of your muscles. You're basically giving up strength because you can't generate force. So it starts with the inside, your feet slightly pointed out. You can cut this knees track with the toes. You sit in between it. Just notice how my knees come out, and I'm sitting in between so that my hips can open up. Because if your knees don't track with your toes, you cave, you create an impingement where the femur goes into the hips, the labrum. That socket is at an angle, so your labrum's right here, and here's your ball socket, and your leg. Basically, if you're caving, you're turning inwards, and so this is the ball, this is the joint that comes out, here's your femur. You create, if your knees are caved in, it turns it slightly, and you create an impingement where the bone bottoms out at the bottom of the labrum. Meaning I can't go to depth. So if my knees are tracked in, let's say, this is as deep as I can go. I can't physically go any deeper than this. But if I just turn them out, I can sit inside of it. So I noticed when you were doing your squats, you had a really wide stance, but your feet were pointed too far forward. So you can't buck it out. You just can't. It's almost impossible to do. So when you do a slightly more narrow stance, what I want you to do when you're squatting, you open those hips, open up the teeth, spread the legs as you're going down, and sit in between. Sit your hips in between your. I'm trying to think of a technical name. Sit your dangle inside of the basket. So this was you squatting. You got to about here. It's going to be really difficult to get depth with your feet pointed forward. Just turning them out a little, basically opens everything up and allows you to dump down into the middle of it. And you can just hang out here all day. But if I do it straight, I don't even think I can get down that far. But yeah, I bottom out. So that's really all it is. And it was a little bit too much to try to explain over a text message. But that's it, right there. Just imagine you're moving in a circle, so as your legs move out, your toes point, and your knees always track with your toes. And at the same time, you're also rotating the hips out, so you're opening up the taint. The little gooch in between your nutty sack and your butthole, open that up. Zip. And holla, peanut butter sandwiches. Now, I'm actually 100% at rest right now. I can just sit here. Does that make sense? You have any questions about that? What's up, Bobby? Well, I'm new to workout 226 at 5'9". Is push-ups, pull-ups, and barbell curl one day, then legs another, hit every muscle and I get gains. Killer B, let me ask you, let's all focus on Killer B right now. What are your goals? Like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be strong? You want to be pretty? You want to be both? Runner Boy, what's up? Killer B, if you do everything Runner Boy does, you'll be good to go. So when I use a narrower stance, I can move the hips out. Can I move the hips out? When I use a narrower stance, can I move the hips out? Are you talking about opening up? Yes. So as you see, like, this is a completely narrow stance, right? I still open up. See, I'm still turning my legs. So you see my knees rotate slightly. I'm rotating, so I'm just dumping inside of it. Otherwise, like, if I don't dump inside, I create an impingement where I'm sitting on top of my thighs. And this is about as far as I go. But just by opening it, I can dump down inside of them. So this is straight, this is dump. Try to get more upright. Straight, dump. Squat, deadlift, bench, everything else is accessory. Pretty much. But I would say a good program for somebody that's never trained before is the starting strength 5x5. I recommend that to every new person. I think every person could benefit from doing the starting strength 5x5 for about 6 months. And then from there, you can start adding and subtracting. I do a total of 5 lifts. Bench, deadlift, squat, barbell row, overhead press, and then of course, for accessories, pull-ups and dips. Would you recommend high bar or low bar for me, smart gamer? I don't know. I need to see you be able to get the depth naturally before I can recommend that. So if I could see you sit into a bottomed out squat, if you could do what I just did, I could then kind of take a look and see how you're. And the other thing is you gotta. I know you don't want to show your body off, and I'm not saying you should start posting yourself naked on the internet, but you keep wearing these giant hoodies and shorts, and I can't tell where any of your joints are. I have no idea where your hips are. So you gotta get over the body dysmorphia thing. You have like reverse body dysmorphia. You have body shame. And like, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm training you, so we need to get over that. How do I get rid of man boobs? Well, assuming you don't have gynecomastia, which is going to require a surgical procedure, I would say lots of cardio. I'm doing 5x5 heavy as fuck, 4 or 5 exercises to top it up 3 days a week. Mr. Messiah. So, but we were trying to answer Killer B's question. We said, bro, I'm new to workout. 226, 5'9". So you're about 7 or 8 pounds heavier than I am right now. And he says it's push-ups, pull-ups, and barbell curl day 1, and then legs another hit every muscle, and I would get gains. Like I don't even. I need to decipher that. I'm not. I don't even know. I don't even know what that means. Uh, how are these people getting a crown so fast? What's the crown? I tried opening up hip thing, and it just feels so much deeper. Yeah. So then from there, smart gamer. From there, just practice sitting in the squat and trying to get a little bit lower each time. But on top of getting deeper into the squat, make sure you get your torso upright. So, look, because a lot of people, this is their squat. They're like this. Have your feet flat. What we want to practice doing is getting our knees over our toes and getting the torso upright. So like straight up and down. And the reason for that is we want to work on our ankle mobility. So as far as my knees can go over my toes, I want to try to flatten my feet out. The more you can do that, the easier it's going to be when you do a low bar squat. And then we might even be able to get you into some of the Olympic lifts. Like this, for me, this is where I bottom out. I'm not even able to touch my heels to the ground. And that's the reason why they wear squat shoes. If you notice they got the thick heels on them, it basically raises up your ankles and it provides some of that missing mobility. But yeah, I'm just sitting in this, I'm just totally relaxed. And this, I can just sit here all day. But again, we want to go from this to this. And a lot of that is just cranking your back down and tightening those muscles up when you go down. Front squats are awesome. A lot of people, I don't like doing the cross arm front squats. I like to do proper ones when you get your hands under the bar. And people don't have the mobility to do that. So a good drill for that, if you don't have the mobility, one of the things I preach is if you have a limiting factor, instead of changing the form, work on the limiting factor. A lot of guys, they can't get their hands under the barbell, so they'll cross their arms like this. I don't like that. So one of the drills you can do is you can practice swinging forwards and backwards. And then if the limiting factor for your arms is you can't get the bar behind your back, simply lock your palms on the bar, and with your elbows in the same direction as your torso. You don't want to be doing this. Try to work up into it, and then hold that, and then over time bring that grip in a little bit, and just work on that flexibility. Because like a lot of people, they say they can't do squats because they can't get their arms under the bar. They can't do front squats because they can't hold it. And that's maybe true. But instead of not doing the exercise, work on your limitation. And it might take time. I love front squats, Mr. Messiah. I actually think you could do front squats exclusively for training and then switch over when you get ready to compete a couple of weeks before, and you'll have a much stronger low bar squat. And I know a few people that do exclusively front squats when they're training and then make the switch right before competition. Zyro, what's up, my man? Jazz Ragu. When can you barbell squat after knee ligament reconstruction? That I don't know. So I'm actually I had bicep surgery about 11 weeks ago, and I just started training again. And I'm doing super light bench with the Smith machine, and I'm doing like curls with 5 pounds, bands and that kind of thing. And now I've had complete knee reconstruction, But when I had that surgery, I wasn't weightlifting. One of the things I was doing, though, I would think that, are you doing, one, how many weeks out from surgery are you? And two, um, what kind of, so you said barbell squat. I don't know, man. How many weeks out from surgery are you? I'm using wrist wraps for front squats. Yeah. When I hold the broom to practice, I can't go as low as I can with just body weight, even though the broom is 3 pounds. And the reason for that is because holding that barbell realigns you so that your center of gravity is changed. And you are now, I mean, it makes sense. Like, how do I describe it, though? So when you're moving your arms back and you're holding it down, you're locking in. I think for you, one of the things you might want to try, let me think here. Try, I don't know if you've got like a book or something you can stand on that's a couple inches thick. Could be a 2x4. But one thing you could try to see if it's your ankles or not is put your heels up on a board and then squat into it and see how much easier it is. If it's easier with a couple inches under your heels, then you have ankle mobility or knee issues. But I don't know if that's the case with you, because all the videos you've shown me so far, your feet are out of alignment. You were barefoot, and you were pancaking. Like, you could clearly see the bar path leaning forward. So the bar should be straight up and down, and yours was like this. So until you get that bar moving up and down, which is why I said maybe try getting yourself in a seated position and starting from there. But even then, you have to be consistent all the way up and down. The challenge is finding something low enough where it's going to get close to, or at least your hip crease under your knees. So what you really want to make sure the crease of your hips is below the top of your knees right here. Draw a straight line, and that's adequate depth. I mean, even if you were just doing squats for exercise to get bigger quads, really even going to parallel is going to be fine. But you know how the internet is; they'll give you nothing but everybody's an international IPL judge on the internet when anyone posts a set of squats. So nothing less than Olympic depth would be acceptable. You know. I've had people say, like, that didn't count. And I'm like, for what? Exercise? If he dies, he dies. I shrunk. Yeah, I dropped 30 pounds. I figured since I'm not training because I'm rehabbing this bicep, I don't need to be carrying all that extra weight around, because it's really hard on the knees. And I wanted to see how athletic I could get, because I'm going to be training Muay Thai here pretty much exclusively for about 3 months. I want to see at the age of 50 how much of my athleticism I can get back. But I'm not going to stop lifting. Like, a good strategy to make sure you don't lose too much strength. And if you, like, say you're a power lifter and you want to take some time off from the sport, but you don't want to lose all your strength, you can maintain fairly easy about 90% of your max without really stressing your body out too much. So, I'm a 650, 660 pound squatter. I really only have to, do 500, 550 for reps, which is easy when you're squatting 100 pounds more than that. If I'm doing that for sets of 4 or 5, or, if you're a 410 pound bencher, you go up to 350 and you're banging out sets of 3 or 4, once a week, you're still going to maintain a really high level of strength. And then if you decide to dive back into powerlifting, it's a couple of months before you're right back to where you were. And theoretically, because you're not hurting yourself,
you will actually come back stronger. And at least that's been my experience up till now. Now, one of the challenges I'm dealing with is, for the first time in my life, I had surgery to where I couldn't use an arm, which really limited the amount of exercises I could do upper body. And that has most definitely caused me to lose strength. But like anything else, the second I get clearance from my doctor to train, I'll have that back in no time. So I'm not too worried about it. In the meantime, though, I'm really, really enjoying um, a lot of the abilities that I've gotten back. So I don't know if you guys noticed, when I was doing heavy bag work in the past, boxing, that kind of thing, I always had to have knee braces on, and I was in constant pain, and I just attributed that to being older. But now, like, I have no problem doing it. I'm not wearing knee braces anymore. I've gotten a lot more of my flexibility back. I just feel way more athletic. I'm also doing my stretching since I'm down here. No, it's been cool, man. I've been able to pull off some moves that I haven't been able to do since I was in my 20s. Like, spinning wheel kicks and stuff. One of the issues I had when I was 230 pounds, I was the strongest I've ever been in my life, but I couldn't jump. And now it's like, I'm lighter on my feet. So I don't think I'm going to get too much lighter. I'm not going to go past 195. I think I'm right about 200 right now. I kind of figured just pain was, you're 50 years old, you're in pain, right? I will say though, one of the problems I'm having is my swamp cooler went out and it's about 110 degrees in the garage right now. Smart gamer, this is a warm-up I want you to start doing. Really simply, I want you to do a few sets on each side. We're just going to lean into it. Do about 5 of these. And you want the goal is to get the heel as close to the butt as possible. So you want to push as far forward as you can. Do 5 of these. You're going to bring it out here. Your foot's going to be angled out. The same principle. But your hips, you want to force your hips in this direction. And even though they're moving this way, you're pushing this way. So the idea is this is going to help you sit in, it's going to increase your depth and help you to sit in the squats more. Do about 5 of these. And we're going to bring it out here, do 5 of these. Same thing, I'm still moving the hips. Well, the takeaway is you don't want to turn into it. You want to keep your hips aligned forward. So just a few forward, 2, 3, few out in the middle, 3, few out. We switch legs, and this is what it looks like from the side. Just a simple 90 degrees. And like I said, you want to bring that heel as close to the butt as possible. As you get better, you can spread your legs out a little bit more. This is just a warm-up. But since you're new to this kind of training, you will actually get a little hypertrophy from it. So the whole point of all these exercises is I'm always trying to rotate the femur in the labrum. I'm pushing out and I'm spinning. So notice my heel's turning in like that. So I'm rotating. We're going to sit on it. Now with the long hand, we're going to stretch over. And then with these you can rotate too. You can turn it. Oh, I hate this part. This is the hardest part about getting older, is this maintaining this flexibility. And it sucks because if you even stop for like a week, it's not that you lose it, but you do regress noticeably. But see, like, I started doing this because this also helped me with my squats. I was having ankle and knee mobility issues, and doing this stretching routine really helped me with my depth issues. And it really bulletproofs the knees too. A real simple knee bulletproof exercise you can do is quite simply feet flat on the ground, lock your torso, push your hips out, and just lean back into it. All that weight is directly on right on your knees. Just go back as far as you can. Even most people can't even do a couple of inches. And if you can't do that, you can bring your toes up, make it a little easier. But that just really helps to bulletproof the knees. So anybody that's had knee surgery, if you're having pain, especially like in the meniscus or right underneath the what's the kneecap called? This will help relieve that. Just doing static holds. Just lean back and hold it as much as you can. And then for ankles, if Bobby says I never work calves out, he likes to do calf raises. I like to do this body exercise where I use my body weight. I try to get up on my big toe. This puts all your weight on the calves. You can just do sets of these to failure. And then, you know, if you're somebody that's prone to rolling your ankles, you could, this will really bulletproof your ankles. Turn them in, raise them, roll them, one side to the other. Flat, bring it forward. Put weight on one, weight on the other. There's a bunch of different things you can do. And this also helps with your balance and coordination. Woo, feel the burn. Cars and planes, I believe those are called folding already. Oh, yeah. Man, I got dry mouth. Holy shit. Dude, it's so hot in this garage right now. My swamp cooler burned out. I'm like I insulated the garage door because during the summertime, that thing gets so hot you can't get within 3 feet of it. It'll like physically burn you. That helped arthritis in the ankle. Yeah, so we'll start small. You know, a lot of guys, you know, they try to do too much. Just go to where it's uncomfortable but not painful. And we want to, with the goal, people say, well, how many sets should you do? I don't know, whenever I'm stretching, I just say go to where it's uncomfortable, sit into it for 30 seconds to where the uncomfortable starts feeling okay. Take a deep breath. When you exhale, stretch farther, sit into it a little more, and do like three stretch, you know, three increment, like, so if I'm here, or rather, if I'm here, this is where it's uncomfortable. I'll hold this for 30 seconds. Get the camera here. I'll take a deep breath. And exhale. I'll relax a little more and do it. Hold this for 15 to 30 seconds. Take a deep breath. Exhale. 3 times. Maybe do 3 of these. And if you do that consistently, you'll make really serious progress without really risking injuring yourself. Because I found out the hard way, you can't overdo it with stretching. And I also like to, my wife does a bunch, but does yoga, and you know, there's a lot of guys that specialize in this, but I like to try to just explore how the body works. So sometimes I'll just get into a position and just see, you know, like a practice rotating into like, so like a good example is like when you're doing kicks, you chamber up and spin around. I know it's like a limiting factor is like right here is an impingement. So it's like trying to find a stretch that puts your body in that position. And there's like so a lot of times when I'm doing stretches, I'll just go with whatever I feel like is working. And wherever I have the problem, like right in here, that's where it's at. So that's where I want to focus. Oh, also, if you flex your muscles, it will override there's like a pain blocker in your brain that won't let you go past a certain point. It's like a fear mechanism that's built in so you don't hurt yourself. You can override that partially by flexing. So if you flex the muscle like you're in a bodybuilding show, it will allow you to go deeper into a stretch. But that's where you kind of have to be careful, because that is where you can also hurt yourself. And every time I think I found something new, I see in the chat that there's a name for it already. Rickshaw. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. Zyro. I need to do that for sure. Got deep squat down beyond. Hyperextend my knee in a basketball tournament that I won. Minor flex. Nice. What are some good stretches at the moment it hurts to fully extend my legs? So, okay. Well, you weren't in the stream, so I'm going to show you. So I've had my knee completely rebuilt. I was jumping on the back of a 7-ton, and I had about 80 pounds on my back. And I came down on one leg, and this went that way. Doink. So everything got ripped to shreds. The ACL, MCL, patella. You kind of see the scar, maybe a little bit. A big scar right here. So I had everything rebuilt. Now, usually when people have knee surgery, getting full range of motion back is the number one priority, and that's, of course, maybe strapping weights on it and stretching it out. But for you, you hyperextended it. So what we want to do is we want to strengthen, we want to bulletproof the patella and the tendons. So this is just real simple. I got my feet flat behind me, and I'm going to straighten my core, push my hips forward, and I'm just going to lean back and allow my body weight. And that's going to work the knees and the quads to some degree. We're just going to lightly go back to what we can tolerate. And for most people, it'll only be, if you've never done this before and you only get this far, you're going to find that this is extremely difficult. It doesn't look like much. You know, we're going to just lean back into it and hold these. We're just nice and slowly and controlled. Try to go back a little bit further. Just for you, since you hyperextended it, we want to really get some static holds in there. So now once you've done that, and you feel like you're making progress, we want to bulletproof those knees. So we're going to do what's called sissy squats. I'll bring my camera with me. Now, a sissy squat can be performed in a couple different ways. So, let's see here. Let's get you sideways. So the key to the sissy squat is going to be knees over toes. So, we want to extend our knees forward. We're going to put our body weight over them. I want all my body weight over my knees. And then I don't want to pull back up this way. I want to pull up, I want to push up that way. So, I don't think that's, let me get the camera better here. I don't think it's really showing it. Let's see here. Okay. So, for most people, they're probably going to have to assist themselves by holding on to something. I need it for balance. But you want to get to the point where you can do it with just your body weight. So again, we're going to extend our knees forward. We're going to go as close to the ground as possible, like this, and we're going to push straight up. Really push it up. Ooh, yeah. That's going to bulletproof those knees. Do those to failure. And then I have a cheat machine. These are about $130. And after I destroyed my garage, this is a sissy squat thing. It basically is the same movement, but instead of putting my weight over my knees this way, I'm bending back this way.
but it's still all of your weight right on your knees. And then to increase the difficulty, you would lean back into it. And again, take these to failure. And the more you lean back, the harder they are. If most people don't have access to these, but if your gym has one, make sure and take advantage of it. Now, there's some other stuff we can do here. Oh my God, it's hot in this garage. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this for. Whew. With my swamp cooler, I could keep it about 80 degrees in here, but without it, it's probably 110 in here. Whew. I'm sweating my ass off. Reverse hypers are awesome, yeah. But we're talking about hyperextending your knees and what we can do to bulletproof and strengthen those tendons. Of course, any kind of full motion, full range of motion squat, barbell squats, all of those are going to work for that. And I would venture to say that if you were doing full range of motion barbell squats, not only would you have much stronger knees for basketball, but your hops would go up significantly. So now I used to be a shooting guard. I played 1 year of junior college ball. I played for Harper College in Illinois. I was Harper Hawks. And I was a shooting guard. And I used to be able to get both, like my forearms over the rim. And now, 50 years old, 5'9", without jumping or running, I can still stand under the basket and grab the rim with one hand without running. I can just jump up and do it. And I don't play basketball anymore because it makes my knees flare up and they hurt for days. Every once in a while I'll go shoot around with the kids or whatever. The point is I just do squats. And just doing squats and nothing else, I have hops that are, for a guy my age and my size, that are incredible. So I would think if you're playing basketball and you start doing body or barbell squats, it's going to definitely improve all that stuff. Bro Jen, what did you want me to do with the book on the heels thing? Are you currently my pooping entertainment? I hope so. I do those with a band wrapped around a pole and it helps me go deeper. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Reverse hypers are awesome, by the way. I think reverse hypers, if your gym has a reverse hyper and you're not using it, you're missing out. But the thing is not every gym has one. It's really not a common piece of equipment. Let me see here. So, what was I going to do? Did the sissy squats, did those. Oh yeah, specifically, so a good squat, I would say for basketball specifically, because of the way you're generating, I would probably go with like front squats with a narrow stance, which puts my knees over my toes a little more. Like this would be low bar, that's front squat probably. That's going to make it more quad dominant. But for you, smart gamer, what I wanted you to try is finding a book or a 2x4 or something that's a couple inches thick. And when you're doing squats, put your heels on it. So like you're wearing squat shoes. And then perform a squat and see if that improves your depth and helps you sit back into it more. See, like this is being resting. So if I remove this, now I'm resting like this. See my back angle? So I was like this, now I'm like this. And if that does work for you, what I would suggest, well, maybe I'll buy you some squat shoes, but I'm not going to buy you squat shoes until you give me 6 weeks of consistent training, because they're expensive.
Uh, oh, you played for Syracuse, so you played for a real team. This was a community college in Illinois. But, you know, it's not for nothing. Oh, and I played Marine Corps ball, first division. That's actually how I blew my knee out the first time. I was going up for a rebound, and when I came down, I popped my ACL, and I never got surgery on it. And we went out to the field. Um, I don't know. My knee swelled up like a grapefruit, so I stopped playing basketball. After the swelling went down, I didn't really know anything about the human anatomy, and I did the ACL is for lateral movement. So I was testing it out, and I went for a run with the battery, and everything seemed fine. So I went to the field, and I thought my knee had a weird click in it. So I was like, "No, there's still something wrong with it, but nothing hurts." What I didn't realize is what was happening is my knee was turning. So when I came down on it with that back with my Alice pack on, my knee just went, and it was gnarly. Holy shit! So I blacked out. I don't even remember how I got. Like I've strung. I remember blowing my knee out. I remember screaming in the back of a Humvee. I remember Doc telling me to shut up and suck it up. Something along those lines. I mean, and then I remember surgery, but I don't remember the time in between that. It's like I lost that memory. Like somehow my brain blocked it out. I have long femurs and I couldn't feel my glutes when I squared until I elevated my heels. Yeah, that's really common. You know, people are like they're trying to feel those muscles activate, and then a lot of it is also your glutes are so big that even though you're trying to directly activate them, a lot of times they're working, but you just don't feel it. You got to get it. What that means though is you are a lot stronger than the amount of weight you're pushing, and that's a quality problem to have. So that means you have a lot of untapped strength to. If you can mentally tap into that, your gains are going to go up big time. So Rick, this is what I'll tell you. I specialize in. I'm not a trainer. I would never call myself a trainer, but I'm a coach, and I would say that I would say I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best in the USPA certified strength coach, and I specialize in tuning the compound lifts to your body specifically. And I'm trying to do that with Smart Gamer, but he's recording on a potato, and he likes to wear garbage bags when he trains, so I can't see his body. But if any of you guys could put a video and upload it to YouTube, and if you don't want people to see it, you can make it private and tag me in it, and I'll try to help. I'll diagnose your lift and get you tuned to see if you're leaving any obvious untapped strength on the board. We could probably get those numbers up for you. A lot of it's minor corrections, fixing pancakes, turning your feet a little, tracking your knees, locking your back up, keeping your spine straight, little things like that. A lot of people have good lifts, but if you could just kind of like, I saw this one guy, his squat was beautiful, but he wasn't turning his hips out, so he wasn't opening up his hips so he could go in between them, and he just couldn't figure out why he was unable to activate his posterior chain, and he was just firing off his quads, and with just that one simple cue. And I would also tell him, you know, the other thing I would have him do was once he got to the bottom, I would tell him to count to 2 and then act like he was a trebuchet or a crossbow and fire off, like shoot like he's trying to jump through the ceiling. So essentially go for speed. And we started having him do dynamic box squats, which is basically you squat to the bench, you break the stretch reflex, and then you go up with as much speed as possible. And when I track that with a barbell tracker, and the goal is to have each rep faster than the last. And within 3 weeks, I think we put out like damn near close to 100 pounds on his squat. And he would say, you can't gain 100 pounds in 3 weeks. You're right. He had 100 pounds in him. He just didn't know how to use it. So he was already strong enough to do that lift. He just couldn't figure out how to activate those muscles. So sometimes just little minor tweaks like that. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with Smart Gamer. Get him tuned up here, because I think that I think you're a Smart Gamer. I think you're strong enough to probably at least squat your body weight. But it's just like convincing your brain that you can do it and getting your body tuned in so it can, fire properly. We got Jarl. What's up? Yeah, no, my pleasure, Rick. I don't have that big of a channel. I'm trying to get to 8,000 subs, but even that's like nothing. And right now it's fairly easy. I have enough. I got a lot on my plate, but I have enough time where I can help out with that kind of thing. Are you training to secure Trump? You're training to secure Trump. I got nothing for that. I don't know what to say. I think I have the same problem with bench. Yeah, bench is a big one. A lot of times bench is flared elbows, wrists aren't straight, maybe arching a little bit, getting the shoulders, locking up the lats. Like really, you can use the lats to lower the weight and then firing, using your all three muscle groups at the same time. A lot of people are either tricep dominant or they're shoulder dominant, and many people can't even feel their pectorals when they're benching. So one of the little tricks I'll have people do is when they have the barbell, before they even lower it, I'll tell them to squeeze all three of those muscle groups and feel it. And then I'll have them push the weight up a little and then slowly lower it. But then when they lower it, I'll tell them to pretend their lats are like a hydraulic airbag that's lowering the weight. So once you can feel your lats lowering the weight, you can then incorporate your back and your front to lift that. And people say, you can't lift with the lats. Well, no, when you're powerlifting, you got to use any advantage you can. When you get to a certain weight, you can. There's a technique to where you can actually conserve energy on the eccentric by locking your lats up and using it to lower it like a hydraulic cushion. And then when you get to the chest, you act like you're a spring load, like you click, 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 and then you fire that trigger and you shoot that weight up and it activates everything. And once you can mentally put all three of those together, you can add a lot to your lifts. Little things like that. What kind of cardio you do, Crystal? No, man. No, this is where I normally throw an obligatory mom joke in, but normally I hit the heavy bag. I'll set timers. I'll set a timer for like 3 minutes and just like, jump rope, sprinting. But lately what I did is I broke my air cooler for the garage, so it's 110 in here, and instead of doing cardio, I die by dehydration. Another good one, Smart Gamer, another warm-up lift that I'd like you to start doing if you can, is called a horseshoe squat. A horseshoe squat is a really wide stance squat. If you recall, the feet track out like a circle, so how far wide you go up to 90 degrees, your feet are going to be pointing straight out. So if you can, bring the feet out as far as you can, with it pointed out as far as you can. This requires a little bit of balance. It helps to hold a little weight because that helps keep your body upright, but you basically want to dip into these. And this is more of a stretch than a squat. We're going to get nice and comfortable at the bottom. We'll move our feet to where we're stretching out here. And then we're just going to do a set of these. This is a dynamic stretch. This specifically will help you kick higher. And from here, we can go into single leg. These are really hard. I've been working on pistol squats, and then this is a stretchy squat where it works on your rectus femoris and your gluteus minimus. This is super hard to do. If you can, see if you guys can do. Whoa. I've been just doing these, trying to see how far and low I can go. Kind of like a pistol squat, except you don't have the leg to balance. Tree pose and squat at the same time. See if I can do it. Some of the stuff I just do because I want to. I don't really have a reason. But I do find it helps with balance. See if I can do pistol squats. Well, whew. You ever have a day where your balance is better than others? Man, if you can get up on the ball of your foot, that really hits the knees hard. Whoa, that's way harder. Try focus on one spot on the ground. Okay. Mr. Rich Poo Poo, who banned me? I don't know, who are you? I don't have, can regular, so we had, what was it, Middle East Beast? One day he came on and he was just fucking banning people left and right. Oh, yeah, Rich, so, I went through and looked, and I unbanned your account, so you should be good to go. Are you saying that you've been banned since then? Whew. Let's take a look. Community moderation. I guess I could turn on moderation activity. I didn't see that. So I keep an eye on who's doing what. So let's see. Standard moderators. You guys heard from Matt C lately? So we got Miller. Wow. 55 more? Holy shit, where did all these people come from? I don't even know any of these people. Ravi, why is he banned? Unban him. Some of these are pretty obvious. Nameless, let's see. Wally Botto. Wally Botto? Wasn't he just... I'm unbanning him. I thought I was just talking to him. Hey, if you guys are going to ban people, you need to let me know. Cephist? Who the fuck banned Cephist? You fucking assholes? Who? Are you goddamn kidding me? Whoever banned Cephist... Why? Dude, okay, somebody came in here, banned a bunch of people that I talk to on a regular basis, and if I find out who it is, I'm going to take a flight and come visit you. This shit is not funny. When I really, let's see. Rich, I'm not seeing you here. Why did somebody banned one truck 22? He's a fucking 73-year-old Marine powerlifter. Why the fuck would you ban him? And I was wondering why I haven't heard from these people in a while. Oh my god, dude, this fucking makes me angry. I guess I need to keep a better eye on things. Ian Miller, isn't he my moderator? Somebody banned one of my moderators. I find out who the fuck did this. But no, Rich, I don't see you on this list. I'm looking at it again just to make sure. Chris Vaughn. I'm going to unban him just in case. Tiny boy. Schmegma. Unbelievable. All right. So, well, holy shit! I'm three subscribers away from 8,000. I don't like to beg for subscribers, but help me out here, people. All right, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to turn on moderation activity. The people who ban other people were definitely either bullied or molested as a kid. Yeah, here's the deal. I don't think any of my mods are currently doing this. I had to get rid of a couple moderators a while back. And I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention because they ban, like, so Cephist is, in my opinion, and you guys should check this guy out, Cephist, Sephist. In my opinion, he is the best powerlifter on the internet right now. Now he doesn't have the highest total, but he's got a legitimate total. He's in his mid-30s, so he's a submaster. He's in the 1700s. He's in my weight class, 220. So he's mid-1700s total. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting close to 1800. But what makes him amazing is he only started powerlifting like 3 or 4 years ago. And he went from a gym bro with a guy that had a 500-pound squat and maybe 230-pound, 240-pound bench to a fucking international elite powerlifter that, if he keeps on his current trajectory, is going to go down as one of the best. Assuming he stays healthy and that kind of thing. But he's amazing. You guys should check him out. Thank you. Let's see, Nathan Yells. Thanks. Andrew Harris, 1 out of 3, you seem chill. I am. Yeah. Hey, John, what's up, brother? Why didn't you have moderation activity turned on from the start? I don't even know what that does. I turned on moderation activity, but I don't even know. Like, nothing popped up and says anything. Timestamps. Should I turn on timestamps? Yeah, why not? Dude, I learned something new about YouTube every day. Like, I'm a one-man army, man. I started this channel all by myself. And you guys see my video content. I made my own little intro video, and I got, I do editing and add sound and music, and nothing fancy, but, like, it's hard to do it all by myself. I use Power Director as my editing software, and I've gotten pretty proficient with that, and then branched out into other layering softwares. How about I delete message and see if it pops up? Yeah, I mean, I can see when you guys delete messages, and I can actually look at them. Read the options, and we will recommend what to turn on. Well, so if you go to community moderation, you can turn on or off moderation activity. You can turn on or off timestamps, reactions, and then if I go to the community moderation tab, it actually brings up settings. Like it says who my managing moderators are, and I've got 4 of them. I got Bodyweight Beast Fitness, and I haven't seen him around in a while. I got Steven Sullivan, my wife Christina, and then Prophet Fear, and then under standard moderators, I got a bunch of you guys. JD, all people I've known for a long time and I trust. There's a couple in here though that are. So when the first time I live streamed, I had like 100 views. The second time I live streamed, I had 80,000 views. And up to then, I had not really done any interactions with the community. So I started getting all these weird comments, and they're calling me gay and all this stuff. And I was like, who are you people? And I was just getting spammed. I had no idea what was going on. Like, who are these people? Up till then, for years, it's just been a small community of lifters. We all talk shit to each other. So I got 84,000 views, and I was freaking out. So I asked a couple of people, hey, who was willing to be a moderator? And if I knew you, I just made you a moderator. I had no idea. And they just helped me kill spam and racist slurs and stuff like that. And I didn't really think anything of it, because I didn't expect that to keep happening. And so for the next month, I was getting between, 10 and 40,000 views a live stream, which is, for me, is a lot. And I got monetized, and all sorts of good stuff happened. But what I didn't realize is that by not vetting my moderators, they were just going wild and they were deleting all sorts of people. And I'm more of a free speech guy, so I don't mind people talking shit. You can make fun of me, you can call me whatever you want, I don't care. The only thing I care about is that we don't do anything against YouTube's guidelines, and we don't do anything racist. Definitely no any pedophile crap or stuff like that. Like none of that gets reported. Anything with kids. And if I'm training out here with my daughter, because her and I train a lot, I don't want people talking shit to her. So that's all I want moderated. Everything else is free game. And if you say something clever enough, I'll try to engage with you and we'll talk shit to each other. But yeah, I had a group of moderators that just were, dude, man, they were fucking me over hard. But I thought I got rid of most of them. All right. Holy, I got 8,000 subs. Holy shit. Ever since I had my arm surgery, I went through a stretch where I wasn't making content. I think I went, 2 or 3 weeks? So my channel stalled out a little bit. What time is it? 9? What time is it? Okay, it's 6:14. I actually got to get going, guys. I was told my wife I'd get off at 6 o'clock. I was going to take the bag a little. I got my little, this is a slip bag I use for boxing. It's like a little, but I got it right about chin height. So one thing I do when I come out in the garage, just whenever I'm walking out here, I'll just kick the slab it. Play little footsie games with it. And you're like, that's kind of lame, but it's you get to my age, and it's really hard to maintain. It's not only hard to maintain flexibility, but it's also hard to use it for anything. So I mean, you can kick like that, but can you aim it and actually hit something? So this is just one of the little games I play. And just to make sure I maintain that flexibility and I don't lose it. It's kind of like in the Marine Corps, the same principle. They had pull-up bars by the bathroom. So if you went to the bathroom, you had to do a set of pull-ups as payment. That's just kind of the same principle. I'll also turn on and off light switches and open closet doors and stuff with my feet. And that stuff just helps with dexterity. The things you want to try when you're kicking, you want to be up on your feet. You want to have the hips turned. You get the feet into it. And just, just little things like this just kind of help with put the power where you want it. I'm gonna start training at the Muay Thai gym that we were going to again here. Probably Friday or Monday. So I'm trying to get back into some kind of shape so when I want I'm the only 50-year-old that's in that gym that will actually spar in the ring. There's a couple older guys that train, but none of them will throw hands. And they're probably smarter than me. I don't know what it is I have to prove. I guess maybe I'm just afraid of getting old. You know, I feel like if I just stop, I'm gonna wither away and die. Or be like a Jason Statham. Or who else is old and can still get it done? We got this neck height, solar plexus, tenders, thighs, and calves. Those calf kicks are really low. That's where the bag hurts. So all that weight settled down here. So if you don't kick the bag right, it'll tell you. One of my favorite is like, instead of doing a switch kick or a switch throw, I like to do a kick off the lead foot where I step into it. Step in. I still can't punch. I can't put any force on the bicep. I'm still slow on my feet. Flexibility good, balance not so much. I can't hit harder. I had bicep surgery. It's a good way to go end up in the hospital again. If I shock load this thing,
Well, let me throw a left hook. I haven't thrown one in a while. See if I still got power. I got a lead left that I really like. It's easy to sneak in. I'm gonna transfer all my body weight from here to here. My head actually comes off the center line. Look at the center line when I strike, I come off. But that also puts me a little heavy on the front foot, which is, for Muay Thai, you get your leg kicked out. You almost got to kind of come up, pull back. I did boxing for so long, I still catch myself wanting to slip, but then guys clinch up. So you get the old elbow to the temple. Let me throw a few. Let me see if I can get that power back. Whoa. What am I doing wrong with my footwork here? Pointed. Oh, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay. This sucks getting old. Let's see. These guys are safe with the same mind and afraid to ask questions. Oh, I'm always learning. That's why they call me the world's strongest punching bag. Which I thought was cool until my coach explained what it meant. What are we talking about here? Why do you ask so many questions about everything? Why are the views tanking? What are we talking about here? I'm missing the conversation. Let's see. Come with something better next time. Are you guys just talking shit to each other?
Why are you asking so many questions? How else would I learn, dickhead? We all look like assassins in practice. Like, yeah. Just don't be that guy that stays with the same mind. Sabio, buddy. Hey. Okay. Smart gamer, I'm gonna pick on you. Because this is a problem I'm now seeing on multiple dimensions. As part of your training, I'm telling you, you need to stop acting so. You need to stop reacting with emotion to comments. We know it's hard, but you just gotta let it go. Like I guess the question I would ask to your question, why are the views tanking? Is, well, twofold. One, how do you know they're tanking? And two, what am I supposed to answer? Like, where are you going with that question? Is it something I can use to improve the situation? If you've got something I can use to improve the situation, then say it. I think that it's kind of like it's like asking somebody, hey, why is your face so fucked up? Or, you know what I mean? Like, why are you so fat and ugly? Like, oh, wow. You know, why are you so stupid? You know, why is your channel failing? You know, like, make a point. You know, if you have an observation to make that's useful, by all means, drop it on us. Why do you feel the need to just attack someone for just commenting? You guys got to just, like, dude, do you have the ability to divorce yourself from your emotions long enough to logically think about something? Remember I told you I wanted you to take that deep breath, 3-second hold, and then exhale. That takes your thought process from that lizard brain, that sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, and it moves it up to the front of your head where you can think logically. And generally speaking, once people can think about what they're talking about, they usually come to the conclusion that it's not something that's worth arguing about. The tattooed bald prison guy. Your YouTube brother is the tattooed bald prison guy. Tattooed bald prison guy. I guess that narrows it down. I was about to ask you that, bro, for real. Well, no, I mean, I don't care who the question was aimed at. It's just like, I'm just looking at the conversation, and I'm like, why are you guys even arguing? Let's see, Jarvinin, what's up? Do you listen to Kash Patel on Rogan? I couldn't, Rick. I gotta be honest with you. I'm super disappointed in those guys. Dan Bongino and him. I don't understand how they could possibly lie to us like that, and then act like we've been. That's the epitome of gaslighting. And I voted for Trump. I supported all of his nominees. I thought, I even want to give both of them the benefit of the doubt because I listened to Dan Bongino for a long time, and I wouldn't call myself super conservative. I'm more of a libertarian type. I'm an individualist, freedom, that kind of thing. The Bill of Rights. But I tend to have a lot of conservative values, especially in this day and age. So those are guys whose opinions I at least respected their integrity. And now I'm looking at them and I'm like, I can't. You have no integrity because you just lied to my face. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm kind of wondering, like, why are they lying? Like, what is the reason that they would go to that length? And as a Donald Trump supporter, if he did something, if he's on that list, you need to stand by it, man. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's going to put anyone on a pedestal. If you do good, I'll support you. If you do bad, I'll admonish you. And I'm not ideologically possessed. So the way I look at it, this is what I've always told people. We're not going to vote ourselves out of the situation. No one person is going to save the country. Like, that's our responsibility. It all starts at the bottom with the family. and moves up to the community, where most of the laws that are held over you are applied. So you take part in your local, your local town hall meetings, and you talk to your congressman, and you work your way up from there. The farther away the system of government is to you, the less they can do for you. That's like the No Child Left Behind thing. Like, how could a centralized system know what's good for the kids in your community? They can't. All they can do is lower the standards and try to make it so everybody has a passing grade. And what did they do? They made sure that everyone was dumber, so they equalized it at the bottom. And that's what tends to happen in socialized systems. The only way to become equal is to lower to the common denominator at the bottom. Instead of having rich and poor, just everyone will be poor. But it's just funny because these guys, like, they don't understand that, like, every system of government has the same issues. What point was I trying to make? The point I'm trying to make is, like, I did support Donald Trump. I voted for him. I still support him. I think a lot of his policies are going to do a lot of good for this country, and I think a lot of it needs to play out to be seen. But if they're not releasing this stuff because they're trying to protect him, I do not back that at all. I think that's bullshit. He said he was going to put the list out, put it out. If you're on the list, then you need to stand by it. You know what I mean? Like, you did the crime or whatever. Whatever you did, you stand by it. And I think that's the best move. Just be honest. I don't know why they're trying to hide this shit. I just don't understand it. And then they think we're stupid. Like, on Joe Rogan, they fucking lied to us. They basically said there was, what did they say about the Epstein's Island? Like, there's no video footage? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I literally have videos saved in my watch later list that I never deleted. That was them raiding his island and taking away, hundreds of hours of recorded video. And then you're going to say there's no fucking video. Like, that's a fucking lie. No, granted, I would say like 80% of the country has a small memory. I mean, they couldn't even remember from one administration to the next when Donald Trump tried to push the vaccine, and Biden said he would never take a vaccine that's rushed by Donald Trump. And then that very same vaccine, when he took office, he mandated across the country. And if people are too stupid to remember what happened 3 months ago, I mean, I get that part of it, but some of us have receipts. And he went on Rogan and he fucking lied to my face, and he did it for 2 hours. And the whole time he just had this stupid, I don't know, you'd have to ask someone else. I don't know anything. You're the fucking head of the FBI, dude. Oh, you got me on a rant. Like and subscribe. Yeah, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I backed these guys. I voted for these guys. They were outsiders. Just the fact that the Democrats didn't want any of them was enough for me. But it's like, what the fuck are we doing? I really like where the military is going. They did lower the standards in that, though, across the board, too. I don't know, man. I kind of understand how government works. It's a lot harder to push policies through. Like, our government's designed to basically stifle innovation and change. And there's roadblocks at every turn, every measure. So a lot of times you do wind up having to compromise what you want and what you wind up putting out. So I get that. And that, honestly, that is a good explanation. If they came and told us that, if he said, oh yeah, there's a bunch of old FBI guys that are fucking with us and they're holding us up and they're fighting us at every turn, it's the old regime, I would say, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Fire them fuckers. Well, it's easier said than done. And you give me a reason I can really put my teeth into and kind of, go, oh, that makes sense. I've been in government, so I see that. But for you to come on and just say, oh, there's no video, I don't know what you're talking about. If any of you guys out there have anything, give me a call. He literally said the best investigators are the public. And if anyone out in the public knows anything, call the FBI. We'll be all over it. That just came out of your mouth, you motherfucker. I wanted to see Joe Rogan like hop the table and beat the ever-living shit out of him for saying that. And I actually turned my TV off after I watched that. I was like, you know what? That's enough internet for me today. Do you think Elon is good at video games? I think he probably is. But I also think that he cheated to become a whale at Diablo. You know what's funny about that? To become a whale in Diablo, the people who know will see what he did very easily, which they did. And the people who don't know don't give a fuck. So who's that for? Like, why did he do that? You know what I mean? It's like putting an SS badge on a Cadillac. The people that don't know cars don't give a fuck, and the people that do are laughing at you. Toe Rogaine. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to wonder about that. Got so hit so hard with body dysmorphia that I actually got mad about it. Let's take a look. You got any pictures of you, Jarl? I'll say this, you kind of got to hate yourself a little bit, because the moment you start liking yourself, it's all over. But at the same time, Bob Desi says Diablo isn't play to win, idiot. You just called me an idiot, Bob. So, like I said, the people that know don't. They know, and the people that don't care. So this isn't an argument I'm going to get into with you, but it might not be by definition pay to win, but you're 100% fucking wrong. You know how I know? I have the fucking game. I support heavy barbells. Hell yeah, man. We should change the election to become the president. He needs to play Dark Souls 2 or Elden Ring. Well, you know what the founding fathers really wanted this country to be, is they wanted the president to really not have that much power, but to be somebody that was a wealthy landowner, or like an Elon Musk would be by today's standards, an entrepreneur, a businessman, somebody that had real stakes in the country, who would give up his position for 4 years and then lead the country with the intention of going back to his business. And the idea was, you take a break from making money to help the country, and you make it better, and you're going to go back and prosper from those changes that you made. So it was supposed to be people that had real vested interest in the wealth and the well-being of this country. Well, we got away from that, and we've gotten so far away from it, it's disgusting. And now it's just populism. The government's bloated. It no longer serves the people. It serves itself. It's a giant bureaucracy, and every time somebody does try to make any kind of change, you saw what happened. They start burning Teslas. You get an ideologically possessed group of small idiots that make a lot of loud noise online, and they start basically domestic terrorism. And more people get on board with that because, let's face it, a lot of the people that were supporting that are pretty stupid. I mean, you can't honestly look me in the eye and tell me anybody who supported what they were doing to those Tesla dealerships and all those riots. You can't tell me any of those people had an IQ higher than 90. There's no possible way. But they do have the backing of media and all that stuff. So it makes it look like it's a majority of the country that supports this shit, when in fact it's the exact opposite. It's such a small group that they're basically irrelevant. I just get annoyed with the whole thing. Do you think the West is going to collapse in the next 100 years? I don't know. It'll be interesting because there's a lot. So I'm really heavily into geopolitics, and I've been on board with the birth rate declines that have been happening across the board in China and Russia, all the big powers, and because of our immigration, the legal immigration, our country has kept above the 2.5 mark. We're right there. And you look at the demographics of Russia and China, I don't see them being able to sustain themselves for 10 years, let alone 100. Russia had over 800,000 casualties. Think about that. About 800,000. Close to 1 million. That's an entire generation of men across that country that they've lost. And they were already below the birth rate. So Russia, there is absolutely no way they can recover as a nation unless they conquer the Eastern Bloc countries. They would have to. They've already gone through an entire generation of men over there. It's really sad to see. So there's a couple different ways that they could mitigate that. They could open their borders, both those countries, or they could conquer. They could steal it or invite it in. Now, America, I don't know. I didn't think our country was going to make it because all of the political discourse online had the room temperature IQ of about 80. Like, it was conversations that past the first comment weren't worth following. But then something interesting's happened. You got the younger generation, like my daughter's a 10-year-old, and that generation of kids, they're really bright. Like, I have hope. They are really bright. They are outgoing. It's really incredible. My daughter's in a chess club. She does Muay Thai. She's a Girl Scout. She does everything. Like, she's into a lot of stuff, and so are her friends. And just a couple of years older than them, they're still sitting in their rooms just playing video games all day, and they don't even want to go outside. So it's nice to see that they're transitioning. And I think the younger generation of parents that are taking over has seen what Generation X and the millennials have done. And I think they're transitioning away from that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if we survive the millennials taking power. Then I think we'll have a chance. But a lot of that's a generation of people that are like baby birds hanging with their mouths open and waiting for mom to vomit into them. Like, they're the most entitled, whiny, lazy, and inept generation I've ever met in my life. Now, if you're a millennial, I'm not talking about all of you. I work with some of the most amazing millennials I've ever met. They're very team-oriented. They're super smart. They're strong. But they are the exception, not the rule. They're on this side of the bell curve. They're the ones that are good to go are good to go. But the ones who aren't suck badly. That would be Generation X and Generation Z. I would say my generation is responsible for everything because we were very apolitical and we just allowed shit to happen. We had it really good. There was really nothing going on when I was growing up. I mean, we had to worry about Russia nuking us and that kind of thing. But it wasn't until the towers went down, the Gulf War, that kind of thing, that's when it started popping off. Even like the Gulf War, that was a novelty item because we're all watching it on TV and it was like, wow, that's neat. And then when the towers went down, I was, of course, that's, after I had enlisted in the military, that's where we all kind of woke up and realized that the things like the Patriot Act that we voted in, and I heard people say, well, if you got nothing to hide, you don't have anything to worry about. And we didn't realize that we were literally giving all of our freedom away. And we just weren't involved politically. Most of my friends, including me, we didn't vote. I would say until George Bush was going for a second term. And then by then it was way too late. And we also raised a generation to not give a shit, essentially. We had it too good. That was the problem. We had it much better than our parents did. Everything was peaceful. Everything was quiet. All of the discourse, all of the drama that we manufactured was reality TV, It's just... but then now the world's on fire, and it's like, where the fuck did this come from? What is the MAGA movement about? Referring to when they say "Make America Great Again." Oh, I keep forgetting you're 15 years old. So, "Make America Great Again." You know how everybody's broke now? And rent is like skyrocketing. You told me what you guys were paying for rent. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I was going to be paying $2,000 a month for rent, I would have told you were insane. Because for $2,000 a month, I could have got a 6,000 square foot mansion. I'm lucky I bought my house when I did because my mortgage is only $1,200 a month. But there's people that live in the same size house as me that are literally paying $3,000 a month in Nevada for it. What used to cost me $50 in groceries is now $250. Gas prices, everything's super expensive. I haven't gotten a raise in my position in 3 years. The cost of living goes up, but the wages aren't. The workforce has doubled, so we've devalued ourselves. A lot of the movements, such as the fourth wave feminism and this cry for equity, it's really hampered our ability to trade our time for money in a meaningful way, meaning we are not getting what we're worth, and you probably won't. I can't complain. I make over six figures, but I've been in this industry for 20 years, and if I would have got appropriate cost of living increases, I'd probably $50,000 more a year than I'm making now. The only way to get a raise is to go to another company. So that's essentially what everybody's doing is they'll stay with a company for 4 or 5 years, gain that experience, and then shop themselves out to a company that needs you and basically go for more money. And that's the way you get a raise. And companies know this. So it used to be when you get a job at a company, you stay there for 20 years, retire. They've done away with pensions. Now everything's investing, 401ks, that kind of thing. There's this Make America Great Again. America was fucking awesome. When I was a kid, we didn't talk about racism ever. I had no problems with any people. I grew up in Chicago, and none of this equity bullshit, none of this like equality, the trans garbage, all that shit. There was none of that growing up. There was peace and quiet. We also didn't have social media, so you didn't have a bunch of morons screaming at each other. It was just, dude, America was fucking awesome when I was growing up. We were patriots. People were proud to be American. Couldn't wait to join the military, serve your country. Hell yeah. Now it's people. We're the most prosperous and free society that's ever existed, and people that have never had a real struggle in their life think that this country's awful. And I've been around the world a couple times, and I'm here to tell you right now, if they knew how well they had it, and they would still have the audacity to complain. You know that one, that female that got, that WNBA player that got locked away in a Russian prison, and she's saying how awful this country is, and even though they traded the Russian merchant of death to free her, a guy who openly swears vengeance to America, and his plan is to kill as many of us as he can, and we traded him for that ungrateful bitch, and she comes over here and complains about how bad she has it because now the crowds are getting bigger, and it used to be peaceful and quiet when she played, and I was like, wow, this is one of the most ungrateful people I've ever met in my life. But that's what we have in America. We have people that they hate this country, and they have no context for how well they have it. It's just unbelievable. And every time I hear it, I'm like, who are these people? Send them down to Cuba for a few months. Anybody who would argue for communism is obviously retarded. Yeah. So I don't know if we're the greatest country, Steve, Semper Fi, brother, but it's definitely my favorite. I'm a patriot, as you know. I would say this. America would be great if we had less Americans. You know what I'm talking about. If you hate this country, get the fuck out. Seriously. Go move over to Belarus or somewhere, spend some time on the beaches of Haiti for a few months, get back to me, maybe Nicaragua or go El Salvador, hey, go visit Lebanon for a while. That's yeah, that's right. Angel of Death is a Slayer's dog. Brittany Griner. Yeah, that's right. The angel, I call him the Angel of Death. My job, I'm in commercial construction, but I'm the Las Vegas area manager, safety manager. I was a union construction worker for a good 20 years, and now I'm management. Obvious linear progression. Ireland is the best country. Yeah, Americans are so good that they celebrate being from other countries. You're right, Runner Boy. Like I have Irish heritage, and every St. Patty's Day in my family, I'm just like, okay. I I've never been a country that doesn't celebrate being the nationality of their country. But you know what? There's another thing you could say though to press against that is that we have a, such beautiful diversity and we have so many different cultures, and it is kind of cool to have them get together and celebrate their heritage. So there's something to that. I didn't really know what Mexican food was until I moved to California, and I went to Tijuana for the first time, and if that's something I would have never had. Hey, Kat, what's up? My sister's in the chat. I'm gonna get off. Oh, I gotta get off at 6:52. I told my wife I was gonna help her, but we're gonna build those cabinets, and I stay online for an hour. So, I love you guys. One last kick. See if I can hurt myself. Anyway, love you all. See you on the battlefield.